Will you look back when you're old and gray and think those dumb kids had a lot to say? Well, we were trying to make this night one you'd remember. I don't care if my wheels don't turn, I don't care if my pipe don't burn, as long as I am flowing through your veins after I'm gone away.
It's Thursday night, and you know what that means.
Time for Thematically Speaking, and tonight we are going to look at your comments, but we're also going to have a lot of comments of our own. And before I bring my guests on, we've got a returning segment, Week in Review. Do you want to tell everyone how excited you are for the curse at Alton Towers, not the curse of Alton Towers?
I'm so excited. Anyone else so excited?
And I think we're going to talk about that with everyone else. Trek and Taylors are back
Hello.
from Disneyland Paris, or
Hope
they're
you
on
had
their
a
way
lovely
back.
time.
And we're going to get to our guests, but we are probably going to talk about that. And also, I've got something new coming up, another sort of segment, but I'll wait till I've got my guests on.
And hey, Ben and Holly as well.
So first up, we've got Luke from Coastergen. How you doing, Luke?
Hello, guys. Thanks for having me on. How you doing?
That's right. Yeah, I'm good, yeah.
Are you excited about the curse at?
I'm going to wait till I've got Ginger and Brown on, and then we can all talk about it. We've got
The curse.
Paris with Ginger and Brown. How you doing?
Hi
guys.
Not too bad. How are you?
I just want to say, I've got in the description, you had a... hang on, I'm sorry about the backgrounds. You had a concept for what Drayton Manor are going to have potentially for their new coaster.
Dan did. Dan had an idea, didn't you, Dan?
I did. Little brainwave.
I've linked at the
Very
bottom. I
good.
didn't really want to show any of it because it's new and it's premiered today, and I thought I don't want to take any views
No,
away
you
from
could,
it.
you could have shared it, Mike. Don't worry about it.
But, yeah, I've got a new thing I was going to try today, which was, I just called it the Thursday Thought. And today we're going to be thinking about, as well as Planet Coaster, I just want your thoughts. Do you think the Curse Alton Manor will open on opening weekend? Because I personally don't think it will.
Yeah.
I hope it does.
I don't think they can afford to have
Oh, yeah, I
it.
hope it does. Yeah. I hope it does. But
I don't think they
think it will.
I don't
because-
think they can have it shut, can they?
Yeah, I don't think they'll be able to
No,
accommodate
it's got
the
to be.
amount of people that'll kick
They
off.
can't do a Valhalla with it. Let's just be honest.
because
Well,
they've
you're not
not
that
actually
nice.
promised it. And I remember, do you remember that Thursday, Dan, when the Smiler was meant to open? And then,
Yeah.
like, the evening before, they
Oh.
were like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
not opening. And we were all there on the Thursday.
It's not.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about the Smilers opening, shall we? Not as the
Oh.
worst coaster.
Let's talk about
like,
when they close
opening.
it. Yeah.
I just think with the ride,
They got all the celebrities on, and then they got up the lift hill. And I remember just getting a photo from someone at Towers, just like it's broke down again. And I was just reporting it on Coastergen's Facebook page, like it's not working. It's not. It's broke. It's not going yet.
Have they actually like confirmed a date though? Does anyone know if they
No.
confirmed a date or like
This
a season
spring.
that it'll
Spring.
open?
So the
Spring.
press release that I read out in the video that I did, if you guys haven't seen that, check that out because I go through a few Easter eggs on there in the artwork. But I read the press release out and it literally said spring. That's it.
Yeah.
So
I think they're just covering their own back. I think
Yeah.
it'll be open. Alton Towers usually go for opening day. The only time they didn't, correct me if I'm wrong, was Smiler and Wickerman. Wickerman was because of the snow, and Smiler was.
Yeah.
It's only
Yeah.
ever been technical issues really that's let them down. So I think we'll be good to go. The ride system's there. It's
That's
done. They're just theming it, aren't they? Really. So I think it'll be
Yeah.
open. I think it'll be good to go.
the testing of the vehicles as well can take place in that building without anybody knowing what's going on as well. So they can run it round halfway and run it back, and they can do all they want with it.
Big question, Mike, is do you reckon Subterra will open?
Ooh.
I'm hoping not.
Why are you hoping not?
I'm not a fan of Subterra.
Neither am I.
I
but-
never-
That bad.
I've never done it, so I can't.
You never
know
did
what?
it, really?
No,
I'm so
you
shocked.
know what?
I've
At this
never done
stage, I just want another
Oh
ride
my
at Towers
God.
because with no Nemesis and with the reliability of Funk and Fly and Roller Disco and or whatever they call these days, I don't really go near them.
They need to go.
Enterprise is
Retro
great.
Yeet.
No, it's only got half of them on.
Yeah, but that looks like it's reopening, even though we all thought it was leaving. I think they need all the rides you can get. With Nemesis shut, that is a massive
Draw.
I
for
think
people.
though personally it'd be nice to have both open on the same day like Nemesis and Subterra, because then they've got that.
I can't open Nemesis. It's
Well,
not-
I can't. No, I meant as in when it's actually ready. Nemesis. That's what I meant. When
Maybe
Nemesis is ready,
New
I think
flawless
in terms
coaster.
of like a sort of like intro to the whole area, because obviously Nemesis is the main one that is closed down that everyone loves. I think it'd be nice to have the whole theming open at the same time.
And
But maybe that's just me being a bit strange. Just
I'm
like,
gonna
no, I agree. And I think Nemesis Subterra needs to open with the new storyline to the new theming of Nemesis. Like, it has to happen. And if they do that right, it could be really good. And if it's all the continuities there with the stories, I think it will really come together well for Bit of Valley.
You know, they could open Subterra maybe later in the year when
they could.
I don't know, maybe Scarefest time to maybe remember like they did with the Sanctuary linking in with the Smite. They could
that was good.
Linking into the marketing, to the beginning of the marketing for Nemesis, which will open in March, I would imagine.
But they're losing out then on a full season of build that they could potentially put in. If it's a new story for Nemesis, they could potentially build it all season and then do another amped version of it at Scarefest, and then that's your storyline tail into what's happening with Nemesis.
I don't see it opening opening day, because if you think they're not going to want to take the limelight away from the curse, I'm just going to call it the curse. No one's walking around saying the curse at all.
Just call it Alton Manor. Just call it Alton Manor.
But yeah,
Alton Manor sounds better than the curse.
There's a park 30 miles down the road that might be a bit angry at that.
What?
Drayton.
Oh yeah. No, I meant what? Like,
Night at the Manor. As if they call it Night at the Manor, that'd be a problem.
The cam, but then the cam is in the mechanism. I don't
The river
know. I'm trying to abbreviate. And
Shall we
cam?
take a look at
Center attacking midfielder.
I've never been. Never been
Take a look at one of these
to
POVs. We should be able to talk over the top of it from what I can gather, how I've rigged it up.
So what's this?
I've muted them out. I think we'll look at. I want to look at Saruma first because I quite like that.
The Intamin.
This is from No Limits, isn't it?
Yep. Ah.
Oh, I like this. So you've done it, and there's no.
Yeah, there's no.
Yeah, he's done it so we can just talk over it. So this was done just before I went to Florida. So this was because of my Velocicoaster hype in my head. That's basically what it was for.
Very jealous of you being on that, Luke. Very, very jealous.
It's crazy. And I might, if I knew what it felt like to ride these type of coasters, because you guys have done Hyperion, haven't you? Yeah. So like, they just feel so much different to other Intamins.
Yeah, they give you an headache.
Velocicoaster doesn't. It doesn't rattle. It doesn't. No, it's nah. I rode it at its slowest and its fastest, and in the afternoon as well, and it was absolutely fine.
We didn't like Hyperion based on
the rattle.
I didn't like like the restraints. I thought they were a little bit uncomfortable for me. Maybe that's because I'm a bit of a bigger lad. I don't know, but there was a vibration in the train, and there was a rattle as well. Yeah,
I have heard that about that ride, but like I can assure you, Velocicoaster is
very popular,
utterly smooth.
Very
Luke,
nice.
did you use the new style Intamin trains for that?
I did, yeah. JSB, is it?
That's the one, JBS, yeah.
ABS. There we go.
Before we talk about how you go about creating these, did we want to? Because it kind of set the. I don't know. There were probably games before it, I guess, maybe really old games, but Rollercoaster Tycoon kind of paved a bit of a way for this interest, if you like.
Theme Park started it all, didn't it?
I thought Theme Park was a bit too tongue-in-cheek, though. To be fair, you're right to just get condemned after
it
all.
Was, but it made there be a market for Tycoon in theme parks, and Chris Sawyer obviously just went, okay, well, let's just do it a bit more realistic. Let's put actual things in the actual rides, actual parks, all that kind of stuff. Without RCT, there would, I don't think, without RCT 3 anyway, there wouldn't be as much love for No Limits and stuff like that, because we had Hyper Rails, we had Ultimate Ride. I don't know if you guys remember that. Ultimate Ride was actually made by Disney. It was a Disney game. And you had like this weird blue box that you built in, and you could never build outside it. It was bizarre. It was like you just got the Imagineering software that they sent the friends or something.
Did you want to talk about the dumpster fire that was Rollercoaster Tycoon World? Did you?
Did
you buy it and then get a refund, or did you not even bother?
I didn't get it.
What was the one we played on them? Oh, it was Touch. Yeah, that was on the phone. That was all.
Oh yeah, so that would be
No, we got addicted to that. Yeah,
Well, so
Roller
no one-
Coaster
no one
Tycoon
made
1, 2,
World.
and 3 were great.
Roller Coaster Tycoon World was absolutely shocking, and it wasn't made by Frontier as far as I remember. It was like done by a different company because Frontier obviously moved on from RCT to do Planet Coaster, and that's
When did World come out?
15.
Was it after 3?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Way after 3.
Because
Because it was
I
kind-
definitely never played it. Yeah.
Didn't they
It was
tease things that
shocking.
weren't in the game?
Yeah. They
Because they were trying to
literally.
compete with Planet Coaster's advertising.
Yeah, they put so they put a POV of Goliath at like saying we're gonna have amazing point of view camera, and it like panned it as it went up the lift hill and as it went down the drop, and it literally did the catch car sound of it leaving, the chain lift, the chain does, and then it came out. Do you not remember it? The marketing for it, and then you got it, and it was like Theme Park World from
I would have
98.
seen it. I don't recall
It was
seeing
just-
any of it.
It was shocking. Let me know in the comments if you remember it, because like it was really good marketing, but then the game, you couldn't even put a tree down without doing something stupid. You couldn't build a ride without doing something stupid. You couldn't build a bench, like you couldn't put scenery down. It was like you can't put scenery down there. Well, where can I put it then? Like it was.
I can just imagine it glitching or something. It's like, I can't put it down.
Oh, it did plenty of that. It did plenty of that as well.
So what goes
It was
into when you start your designs, Luke? Is there a concept for the theme first, or
Because you're limited to what you can put into the ride, I always go off layout idea. So I'll start with a general section. Is it going to turn out the station? Is it going to go straight up a lift hill? Is it going to launch? How many launches is it going to have? I think about them little things, and then I just go. I just click and go. Like some of you guys have seen my live streams where I just click and go, and I just build whatever I build. And then I just the thing with No Limits is you have to do it. Like Dan has been playing it for as long as me. But it's doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. And the more you play No Limits, the better you get at it, and the more you
It's
learn.
not
And the
like
more people
I'm
you
still
talk-
learning now. I don't know about you,
Yeah.
Luke.
Yeah,
still
I am.
learning.
Every time I rode
Not a
Taron
pick-up and
recently.
play, is it?
No, I rode Taron recently, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize you could get a feeling of just doing a right to left dead quick, but keeping the track straight as it goes to the left. And that's how you get the lateral G-forces. And you can see all that in No Limits, and you know how it's going to feel, and you can ride
It's
the track. And
amazing
that's
in
what I
that
like about it.
respect. It's amazing.
I feel like Dan plays Planet Coaster with the same kind of what do I want to say here? The same kind of discipline as you'd need for No Limits. When you see that, he goes through every bit of track, and how smooth he's everything on that ride.
Got
He
to
knows.
be
He plays-
perfect. Yeah, I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to my coasters, but Planet Coaster is nowhere near
It's complex.
I mean, Planet Coaster is not easy by any
Do you not
stretch.
remember when
but
I tried doing the No Limits and I was just like, no, I'm stopping.
No
I literally did like
No
a
Limits
straight line. I was
is-
like, no, I'm done with that.
I wonder how many people, Luke, in the community have picked up No Limits because they've seen like videos, maybe our videos or other people's videos on YouTube and stuff, bought it, and then just gone, whoa.
Nope.
Like, I spent
That's what I
hours,
did when I
hours.
first played it.
I was well behind on No Limits 2. I played No Limits 1 for many years, and when we got this, I bought this laptop, the gaming laptop that we're on now, specifically for No Limits 2. I remember reaching out to you, Luke, and asking you for some prices on it. You've been using it for years, but we never had a computer. Well, it's not that we didn't have one, because we were just
played all the console.
Yeah, we
I mean,
had
I
a
used
Mac.
to play-
We had a Mac, and it wasn't on Mac, so we had to go out and buy I bought a
decent
laptop, a good laptop, so it could run it well. And
you know what? You can pick one up now that will run it pretty decent, can't you? Now,
Yeah,
so
like,
it's not like it was back in the day when it first came out.
But for anyone
It was
watching
so
who's
demanding.
interested in getting into it, there's tutorials all over YouTube, and they got me through a lot of it, and obviously messaging Luke back and forth, and it is just trial and error. When you open the software up and look at it, it's just a blank canvas. It's a little
so
bit overwhelming.
Yeah, it's massively overwhelming.
But if you practice at it and you're passionate enough about it and you put the time and effort in, that roller coaster that I uploaded today, I think the layout was pretty much done in about 4 or 5 hours last Saturday. I just sat down and did it, and I just get carried away.
Yeah.
And then
But
every
then you
week,
messed it up.
every day after work, I chip at it, and then I come back, open it up. I opened it up one day after work last week. Didn't like the ending, so I deleted it all, redone it. And then, yourself, Luke, supporting it is a pain.
I hate that.
One
thing I like about Planet Coaster, Dan, is the fact that you can just flat throw layouts out in like minutes.
Yeah.
And you can go into No Limits and be like, all right.
No
so
Limits is a labour of love.
Yeah.
But when it's done and you look at it, it's fantastic.
Just for everyone who in the chat who wasn't here at the start, because you've done a concept for a coaster that Drayton Manor might get because they're going to get a new coaster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now I watched that video when it premiered at like 5 p.m. today, and I put a link in the description. But I watched it without the sound because I was in Tesco at the time. So did you actually say in the video where in the park it was going to go? Or have Drayton said?
No. I did it for a bit of a laugh.
And you've done like
the layout. I did serious, and the forces and the speed. I did it to fit the family thrill category. But do any of us really know where this coaster is going to go at Drayton Manor? So it was difficult for me to really build it based on on a set area. So
what they've said in that article that they released was that it's going to be. They've already broken ground for it around Apocalypse. That's what they said. Where Apocalypse was, they've already broken ground.
I've never been to Drayton Manor.
No, we're going to go this year.
Yeah.
Are they going to do the same thing? Are they going to do the same thing they did for? Was it the monorail thing at Thomasland? And before they built it, they hid all the supports under bins, so enthusiasts didn't know what was going on. Remember ECC went and they were like, "Yeah, the support."
A shed load of bins is just going to appear overnight, just near where Apocalypse was.
Like on Planet Coaster, just putting all these bins down.
RCT style with a really bassy drop sound.
But yeah, basically, Mike, I don't really have a clue where it was going to go. I built it to the specs of thinking, well, it's going to be a family coaster. It states that on RCDB. So I thought family thrill. The rumour at the minute seems to be Vekoma or an Intamin multi-launch or even Zamperla. So I just went with the Intamin. But it could be anything, couldn't it, really?
I don't feel like family thrills, but I know people say it, but it's almost like everyone would have a slight different definition of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's like saying it'll be intense and not the same
family thrill, isn't it? If
I
you
would
look
say
at
so.
Icon and Wickerman, they're both family thrill, and Icon, arguably is the best. I would say anyway, is the best coaster operating in the UK now. Without Nemesis, obviously,
for sure.
I think Icon's the number one.
I always have a thing with Icon, though. I'll tell you this all the time.
What?
The ending's boring.
Yeah, it is.
It
looks like it's like they just clicked autocomplete on Planet Coaster with that ending. I think.
See, I see it slightly different because I like the element of going really close up to the old coasters and coming back in. Like I really like that. I like the tip out feeling as well.
Over the entrance, I'm like,
when it comes over the entrance, I like that, and it does the little outer bank and you like airtime.
For me, I'm just like
the meandering round. I felt like you could have just had a nice little slow roll.
They could have put the Helix inversion at the end into the brakes. Imagine seeing that from the balcony where, from the restaurant, seeing the
I mean, to be fair, the footprint that they've built it in, I think they've done
it's done really well.
And it doesn't take away from the ride massively for me, but if I could change anything, it would just be the ending slightly.
We've got a question from Daryl Dawson Morgan. So hello, Daryl Dawson Morgan. I love it, the Udi. And then could you actually use a normal laptop to work with Planet Coaster?
It's try to blow up.
If you like the sound of jet engines, yes.
No,
you need a laptop with its own graphics card. If you're gonna get a laptop to play games, you need one that's got.
Well, we found out from Daryl a few weeks ago that he went on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire once with his dad and won $8,000. So maybe if he's still got some of that, he can buy himself a Planet Coaster laptop.
He's not got any of that left.
Yeah, but he's got an Xbox as well, so he could play.
Oh yeah, you can plug your.
You can plug your keyboard and mouse in.
I've got a keyboard and mouse when I play on PS4.
I only play on the PS5.
Yeah,
I wouldn't play it. My laptop it's a good laptop, but it wouldn't run it. I only bought this to play games on to play No Limits. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. That's what I play on. Everyone says that the console version,
but it is updated. We have updated it to the PS5 one through the actual system.
So you get like a bigger build limit. When we got the PS5 version and upgraded it, you got like
the
I can't remember how much % more, but I've never hit the limit.
They were cheeky with how close to release they told you about the build limit. It was just like the week before release. It's like, oh yeah, it's got a build limit, by the way.
Yeah, but it's so good. I mean, it's easily accessible for people to pick it up and play if you've got a console. But a good gaming computer, you're looking at what, Luke? You know more about computers than me.
Computer-wise,
Yeah, it's a
grand.
couple of grand to get a really good computer. But you can get laptops as long as they've got a dedicated graphics card, so a separate graphics card, so an AMD one or an NVIDIA one. Yours is NVIDIA, isn't it? Your laptop.
Computer specs go in this one and straight out. I don't have a clue.
Just
I don't
look
know
for
what...
an AMD logo that says AMD graphics or one that says NVIDIA on
AMD Ryzen 5. I mean, we have had this about
yeah.
3 years, so...
Oh, is it that long? Wow. I remember you getting it.
Yeah.
I remember you getting it. I remember you messaging me like, I've just got this. And then you were showing me pictures of it.
Oh, it's still great. It does all our video stuff. The only game that gets played on it is No Limit. It's not even a game, No Limit. I don't class it as anyway.
Oh, I remember when I was playing Planet Coaster on it, because I started the career on it, didn't I? Because you got it through Steam.
Oh yeah, we have tried Planet Coaster
now,
on it.
Doing career mode, and if you're not going to fill your library with loads of custom scenery and like fire exit signs and stuff from the Steam Workshop, you're gonna be all right. You can play career mode; it's fine.
Yeah, it ran, didn't it? It was all right.
It ran.
As soon as you start doing silly things like trying to recreate Wicker Man and stuff like that with different wooden pieces and things, it's just not going to happen. You're limited. Like we're limited to that with Virtual Towers in that respect as well. When we're using the Unreal Engine, we have to be careful of what people can run, and that's something that we did before the Nemesis demo. Was we stripped everything out and we rebuilt the engine from the ground up completely.
How long did that take?
And mate, since lockdown, like that was when we started rebuilding the engine.
Wow.
Well, I'm going to show one of Dan's creations, but
let's go.
Did you want to tell us what do you begin with when you create your? Do you begin with a certain thing, Dan? Do you go?
Hey, I don't know if this is weird, but I do the station, and then I do the brake run, and then I make my way forward. I just like to know which way the brake runs. I like to know which way the brake run's coming in. So if I'm building the station, I'll build backwards slightly, make a turn, incline the brake run, and then I'll think, right, that's where I'm going to finish my ride, and then I'll go forwards, build round, up the lift, and I'll lead everything back round towards the brake run. And then if I change my mind and the ride flows coming in from a different angle, then I'll just delete the brake run and do it again. I don't know. It's just the way I've always done it.
I'm going to show Ryan first.
Yep.
Oh, is this? Oh, this is the one we uploaded last week. Yeah, I haven't been on No Limits for a while. This was my first one back.
I actually really like this ride.
Yeah.
Just need like a fan really to feel like I'm actually.
I like the pacing.
Sensory experience.
Yeah, the pacing's great.
I like to think I've got pacing pretty good on No Limits.
Have you? Are you building on the Heartline or just on the track?
The Heartline.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually, Luke, forgot to turn the Heartline on when I was building this, and then I flicked it on, and I just had to adjust a couple of bits. But
yeah, it's just the banking angles, isn't it? It's the offset of the bankings, basically. If you
so
don't know, in No Limits, if you have the Heartline, or you can just center of rail, so you can build it arrow style. So you can build any coaster arrow style the way they build, or you can build it the way they build it now, which is with a Heartline, where you roll around the center of your heart, basically, where you're sat on the train. That's why it's called a Heartline. Well, in Planet Coaster, you can do something similar, which is called banking offset. So I don't know if you know about that.
Yeah, I know about it.
Yeah, offset for like 3 meters or something like that, 3 degrees or something, and then it does give you that Heartline feel. It gives you a more
realistic as well, I think.
If Planet Coaster comes up with
sweeps off, doesn't it?
If Planco comes up with a node system with continuous roll, it will be the best theme park game.
Maybe Planet Coaster. Paris has seen me building No Limits, and she sees all them little blue dots.
I'm like,
so what about an option? Like,
I can't even build
advanced mode, or charge me 20 quid more to have an advanced mode. Like, and I'll pay for it.
Like No Limits Professional. That's what. Have you got the Professional, Luke?
Yeah, I've had that since day one.
What's the difference with Professional?
So you don't have a watermark in the video. You can export up to whatever K you want, 360 videos, the lot.
Yeah.
The bit rate's incredible. You get to export your spine out of No Limits and be able to put it in like Blender or SketchUp, so you can do custom models around the spine and stuff like that.
It's expensive, but it's worth it.
It's worth. Yeah, I mean, you get a few. We've had a few updates the last couple of months. We've got to agree. We've had some.
Yeah,
but we've not had any major coaster updates.
We should not. we should. Sorry, but we should not, Luke. You probably agree. Yeah, we should not have to be going through third-party people to download trains.
No.
Why can't they just they're active because they're always on Twitter. They're always doing the roundups every week. Why can't they just update the trains? Single rails, the new Vekoma, suspended family coasters, all this, the new Intamin trains. It can't be that difficult to make.
I think the reason why is, I don't know if you know about Mac's system they use for when they build coasters. If you watch the Ride to Happiness documentary, that's on YouTube. There's an English version of it as well. And
seen it, yeah.
In simulator mode, they can move the track. So imagine being able to move the track in simulator mode in No Limits.
Yeah.
You can actually edit in the simulator mode as the coaster's going around.
Would you, yeah.
Yeah. So I think No Limits have contracts with big suppliers. So like Intamin, like GCI, like all them kind of people. And when you see the renders come out from them, they can't then release what they've used in their software. So it's down to us as a community to build stuff. And unfortunately, it's never as good. Like, for example, when we got the Wing Coaster from B&M, like Codemaster made a Wing Coaster. I don't know if you remember, but he made a Wing Coaster train. And it was absolutely rubbish compared to when No Limits just dropped theirs. It was like, oh, there you go. There's a proper Wing Coaster.
Pay someone either. Someone's doing it for free.
They don't
have to pay someone to then update it. Do you know what I mean? They're just like,
I don't know. I just think they should give updates with more modern rides.
It's like all the stuff with like GCA and stuff, like people putting stuff out on mods, all the mods that you can get, like Sims and things like that. If you're on a computer, you can.
I guess if the community is doing it, then why should they do it? But then I would feel as a developer, like, well, hang on, people have paid for this software that we've created. We should be updating it a little bit more. They did an update. Was it just before Christmas, Luke? But
dark mode.
No. It was. I just want more. I want more trains and stuff.
More variety of rides.
Do you use a mix of No Limits and SketchUp for some of the stuff on Virtual Towers?
We use many programs, but
don't tell us anything you're not allowed to, by the way.
No, so all the track work is done in No Limits because that's the only thing that's professionally available to us. So we use No Limits to make the track. We go off thousands of hours of POV slowed down, thousands of plans and stuff that's available. It's all available. Staffordshire, Moorlands Council, it's all there. That's how Attraction Source gets all their plans for Horizon and all that stuff. It's all submitted. It's all there. You can see it all. And we just drop it down onto an overlay and off we go. Well, I should say off I go. I've recently finished.
They can have a cut you for taking the credit for that.
No, I've done a lot of track work since, like, the Mine Train has had 15 alterations since I started doing it. But that's done now. That's finished. Pete, if you're watching, that's finished. Yeah. But yeah, 13 and Rita. That's been a labor of love as well. Rita, I think I've got it as close as possible. Just a little plead to everyone who does a PLV and uploads it to YouTube. Put it in 60 FPS and proper 60 FPS because then I can slow it down halfway and see all the track because we're going around. It's great. But no, we use a combination of software. We basically came up with a new way of animating the ride now in Unreal Engine, and that's been like a godsend compared to the old method. So I can't go into that, but it has sped up the process of getting rides into the game.
Excuse me. I've got a question.
Right, while you ask that,
out of everything that we've been talking about.
While you ask that, I'm going to show another one of Luke's creations.
Yeah, because I know about Planet Coaster, but
you'll have to skip it forward.
It was more the question of, in terms of the no limits.
Yeah.
Game. When you say it's more complicated, is it more to do with like the engineering sort of perspective of it? Like, so you get your X, Y, and Z axis and then go from there, or is it? Yeah. Really okay. I reckon it's I just have a rough idea that it's a bit like when you've got like a 3D printer and you're trying to map out.
Yeah, it's very similar to that.
That's a very good description of it.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
The best thing, I think, one of the massive aids in No Limits is where you would normally, in like Planet Coaster, you would have to send the ride round to check it out and stuff and see if it makes it round. In No Limits, you've got like a G-force comb and a speed comb that you can click on and off, and it comes over the top of the track. So if you make an airtime hill or a big hill after a main drop, you can see based on the speed cone. I think they can. Can you see me? I'm doing hand movements.
He's doing
and everything.
hand movements, and
basically you can see based on the speed cone. If the speed cone obviously disappears at the peak of the hill, the ride's not going to make it over. But if you hold your cursor over the top of it, it'll tell you in the bottom left corner the speed that you're doing and stuff, and really helpful. Really helpful.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Planet Coaster, before it came out, they showed that you could send like a ghost train round it to see if it would make it, and that was never in the game.
You can.
Oh, you can do it.
Yeah, you just press test and it goes.
I think it's just like if you've done things like see, I'd find it quite easy because if you've done things like Pro Engineer.
Don't say that because then we'll get it.
And I'm not saying this is why I want to get it.
You should get No Limits.
Probably be better with the more complex.
I tried the first one years ago, and I just.
Oh, No Limits 1 was like.
No Limits 1 was amazing, but compared to No Limits 2, worlds apart.
I think Planet Coaster's hard though. I can't make a roller coaster in Planet Coaster. Dan laughed at mine because it was like this.
She made a roller coaster, and it was literally the whole track all the way around was just inverted like that, and the whole track was just going around like this.
Oh, it was just flat. You mean?
It was awful.
Yeah, but that's because you had boosters throughout the whole layout.
I didn't know. I just like kept pressing X, and then I completed it, and I sent a train, and it was like I was like. Wow. I mean, I got a lot of trophies for it.
You have to start somewhere, though, don't you? To then, like,
I mean,
you've got to start somewhere.
No, Dan, we've decided that when we do one, Dan does the roller coasters, and I do like mainly the theming. So I'll stick to my.
Might download the free demo No Limits and see how it runs and stuff, and then go from there. You know.
I don't know if I had the time for it. You can have a go at it and then tell me how easy it is.
I'm one of them that I'm like, I know it's totally.
We have tutorials at Coastergen.
I like house
the way you build.
Like that, so I'd concentrate for ages. So I'd be like, yes, I'm so into this.
But one thing I do like is I like the realistic pacing, and you both, I think, have that down because I see some people that just build a coaster. It's like fast. It's like don't really need to see this.
Yeah, it's just a blur. Yeah,
Mike blinks and it's back in the break.
Yeah, building B&Ms is like you just watched Artemis there, which was loosely based on Kennedy Space Center. When I came back, I was like,
I was going to say, did you?
The only thing this park is missing is a roller coaster. Like that's what I walked away from Kennedy Space Center with. And I was also like, where could you put it? And I was like, well, near the building where they build all the rockets. And I just thought, right, call it Artemis, do that, cool. And I was like, what fits it? B&M Hyper, absolutely. So. Building B&Ms, you've got to be careful with your shaping, with your pacing. You know yourself on a B&M. The floaty airtime feeling is just it's what it is. So you've got to try and convey that through the ride experience and how it looks on the track and stuff.
Do you want me to show you? Not easy. Do you want me to show you one of my coasters or from Planet?
Let's go. Let's see it.
It was loosely based for everyone at home. I made this about. This was when the game first kind of came out, so that was like 2 or 3 years ago, wasn't it, on console?
I've not seen.
Is this Plancore? Yeah.
I just realised, Paris, you're behind a tree.
I am. I keep like
covered in
It was loosely based. It was loosely based on like a Jaws style theme with sharks and stuff. Because I was mucking about with animatronics, and it's a B&M flying coaster as well. But we'll give it.
Let's go. So it's in a boat.
Oh no, it's outside.
Yeah, it looks better at night than in the day because in the day you can kind of see some of the shots.
I'm sure I have.
Just to shout out hi to Dan Firewolf Thorpe and hi Ice Coaster as well. Thank you for joining us.
Hi everybody.
Just to let you know what we've missed.
Jump scare.
Jump scares.
Yeah, did you see the shark?
In a minute, Luke, where it looks like the shark saying howdy from Toy Story in a minute.
We did start off with what were your thoughts about oh bless you, Ben and Holly. Mike, don't show ours. It's embarrassing after seeing all these. Oh,
hang on, the howdy shark's coming up.
Oh, backwing.
You got to start somewhere, Ben and Holly.
And then it went through.
Oh, there he is again.
I can make my own. Wow.
This bit was way too fast, but I needed it to get through the rest of the
do
layout.
anything.
It sounds good though when the sound's on. It sounds like
that trim bay could be on fire.
Oh, you can't see it on this bit, but this bit had the like mantle where the water comes up.
Clackety, 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 clackety.
Oh, nice.
But this end bit was a bit rushed, to be fair. That was way too fast.
Oh, and a little shark at the end. Was that the smoke? Was that with the brake smoke in there, or was that an effect?
The shark's on fire.
I really like the station, Mike.
Yeah, that probably took me the most time, to be fair.
It looks awesome. I like the idea behind the ride. 100%. I like the idea behind
Anyone
it.
in the comments, let us know what you think too.
Ben doesn't want us to show his now. We'll still show
come on, you've got to show Ben and Holly's. Come on.
Yeah. You've got to
You've got to start somewhere, guys.
Right.
You've been outvoted, so get it on.
We're going to be muted for this because I kind of clipped what Ben sent me. So he's going to talk us through what he's done, basically. But he's used the Ghostbuster DLC from Planet Coaster.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a look at his...
We need to get that bit.
Park that me and Holly started to create on the Ghostbusters DLC. But it did take us a long time. Quite a long time, actually. It's like probably about 4 or 5 hours. We started to create a little dark ride. Only did the first scene. I built all the building there. Station building. So I was quite proud of it, to be fair. So there's a little POV of the coaster. Let's go. As I said, some of the profiling's awful. It'd be well rough, but yeah. So I'm no expert at Planet Coaster, far from it. But... So it's far from the finished product, but we just never got around to actually getting to it. It's got a little end scene there. And it's got the Ghostbusters music playing in there. But it goes through it a bit quick, to be honest. I need to extend that a little bit.
That looks epic.
That was cool.
So good. Smile at him, by the way.
Yeah, Dan was saying his hand.
Sorry,
I kept looking at that the whole time though. It was like just
that's the only DLC
that the hand from Davros in
it reminds me
Daleks.
I can't remember the name of the show, but a kids show from many years ago where one of the sketches was this kid and he'd go devil finger and it would kind of control him. That's what it reminds me of when I see that Slimer with his finger out.
I thought that was really good.
I really like that. I like the idea.
I really like the lightning effect as well. We was like, whoa.
The lift still looked awesome. Yeah.
Have you got the Ghostbusters DLC either of you? Or?
Yeah, yeah.
It's the only one we've not got.
No.
I wasn't sure if it would be too limiting. I didn't know if, because everything would be tied down almost to the
sale on the PlayStation Store quite often, and all the DLC I've picked up on the store in a sale, but the Ghostbusters one is never reduced.
No.
Whether it's because it's an IP, I don't know.
I think it is.
It's only $11.99, but I'm just not.
I'll be honest with you. Out of all of them, for what you get animatronics and theming wise, that you get literally a New York skyline to play with as well. I would suggest getting that one if you're going to get any DLCs. Get that one because you get the shooting dark ride as well. So
when we get back in,
we can make go. Now it's gone.
Oh, nostalgia.
Yeah.
But I'm going to cut.
On, won't we? And do.
I know, Mike. You're always asking me when we're next doing some live streams because we live stream from the PS5, don't we? But we started that park on the last one, and we've
completely changed it. It looks nothing like that. That
was quite fun, I thought, because that was kind of like
it was nice watching you.
That kind of evolved into your Friday night.
Yeah,
it did.
Well, we were discussing only a couple of days back. We might do Friday Night Live one week, and then maybe live stream on Planet Coaster the next, and then alternate it. But at the minute, we're just busy with things.
We are very busy.
So that's why we can't say it'll be every week we'll be doing a live stream because things have been coming up. So, but we'll be back soon.
We will.
Yeah.
Oh, looking forward to it.
I might stream some Planko at some point.
I have got one more that someone else sent in because for everyone at home, there were a lot of people I know that have Planet Coaster, but a lot of them didn't want to share what they had because they thought it wasn't good enough or they were going to be embarrassed. So a lot of people didn't actually want to. They're like, "Oh yeah, I did play it, and I've got this."
But you're still welcome to, guys. You know,
Mike,
like you know who you are. And
Mike, I sent you another one, didn't I?
Yeah, I've got.
Oh yeah, okay. No, I'm just checking because I wasn't sure.
I'm going to show you first a B&M called Thorn, and well, we can talk while it's on. But I feel like the first half ride. Yeah.
Just Planko, cool.
I just feel like personally for me, I feel like the second half of the ride is better paced than the first half, but that's because I'm not into really speedy stuff. But you'll see what you think.
Oh, nice start.
Straight away, looking at the layout outside the ride, though, it looks like it could be quite good. This.
Yeah.
They custom supports or not? I can't really tell. I don't think they want.
No, it's Planko.
No, you can do custom supports. So.
Oh, little drop off the chain lift. Nice.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. That nice.
I like the drop. Smooth. Oof.
Is that a loop?
Yeah.
Oh, airtime.
Which apparently you don't get on inverts, but you definitely do.
I do on Nemesis.
Inverts.
A lot of people, Mike. I got airtime on the last turnaround on Nemesis last year. It was ridiculous.
How?
Don't know.
Where were you sat?
Nemesis first drop
Back
got
left.
airtime.
Back left.
Really?
Another one.
It was absolutely hauling last year. The best it's ever run last year, in my opinion.
I would agree, actually. Whether that's because we all knew it was going, I don't know.
No, I genuinely think, I'm like it. I like that. It's different.
Yeah. I think the second half of this ride's the better half.
Oh, nice. Back-to-back corkscrews. That'd be... You know what? I'd love to experience that back-to-back.
This is a long ride.
I was going to say it's quite a long one, actually. This is usually you get like.
That's nice.
Yeah, I like the pacing there.
It's like an adventure.
It's a great break one as well.
It's speed all the way through as well.
Lovely. Yeah, I like it. It had the same design language all the way through it. Like it had a lot of left to rights and inversions at fast pace as well, which is always a good thing. Like try and when you're doing stuff, you'll figure out eventually you'll come up with your own style. I like to do a lot of helixes towards the end of my ride. I don't like to throw you in one direction all the way through the ride. I like to try and keep the lefts and the rights mixed up. If you invert to the left in one inversion, the next one's going to be to the right, or you're going to be from left to right. So I kind of try and think about little things like that and try and think about drawn outness as well of a ride that can really impact how the ride paces.
Do you favour, I'll ask both of you, but do you favour, because I favour it, I favour dropping out of the station rather than going straight to a lift hill?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Can't beat it.
I mean, on any coaster.
I can't believe I'm going to get to ride Helix for the first time this year, and that's probably got one of the best starts to a coaster I've ever seen. Just drop out, corkscrew. Lovely, that's nice.
I'll tell you what, when you go, Luke, and I don't know if Dan's going to remember when he went on it now, because this is such a weird thing to say, but we went on it years ago now with ECC, but the second launch the sound of that launch sounds like the crow noise from Assassin's Creed when you jump off the top of a spire.
So does Icon.
Yeah, it does a bit. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
Icon does as well. All the LSMs do, apart from Velocicoaster and Tyrants. They're the only ones that don't sound like it. They just sound like angry dinosaurs.
And Red Force, that launch on Red Force, that's the first
I suppose, yeah.
I've experienced with that new LSM launch system.
That does have a rattle.
that launch on Red Force, the sound of that is so fitting with the Ferrari theme. If you think about it,
amazing.
It really sounds like one of the old F1 cars as it takes off.
The trims on Taron are louder than the launch on Icon. When they're going,
Yeah. I've heard them on videos.
they're so loud. Going through them.
We will be. We're going.
So do you want to see a Schwarzkopf from Luke?
Let's do
this
that.
One's great. I love this one.
The 90s throwback one. Yeah.
Oh,
this was inspired by the old school rides and having a lot of time at home to do this.
I love seeing the loops already go over.
6Gs that loop pulls.
Tell you what, Luke. Luke, did you have the clearance envelope on there?
The what?
Did you have the clearance envelope on there? It looked a bit close to that.
It cleared. It cleared. It cleared, even though they don't clear their own catwalks, but it cleared. Tunnels don't clear and catwalks don't clear. No.
Not even close.
Look at that theming. Hot dog stands. Lovely.
Just in the middle of the field.
Nothing screams Flamingo Land in the night is like hot dog stands. There we go. But yeah, this has got a lot of old school profiling on it. A lot of it.
I was gonna say there's one bit in particular that comes later on. I'll tell you. That I
the
thought
brake
that's
run.
definitely a Schwarzkopf.
Is it the uphill brake run with the banking on it?
Ooh.
Yeah, it's so Schwarzkopf. It's great.
The way that did that then reminds me of Scorpion at Busch Gardens. Never been on it, but
yeah,
I've seen the way it comes.
It's a drawn-out version. This is just
this bit where it does the tilted.
Uphill tilted with kicker tires.
The way it does that. That's exactly
the nightmare drop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Did you ever go on Nightmare?
Yes, I did. As well, yeah.
But I don't remember much of it.
Do you remember the horn?
I thought it was all right, Luke, but there was no way that Psycho drop was 5G. There's not a chance.
No, right, yeah.
Do you remember when they were saying, "Oh, it's 5G"? It's
like
Nightmare. Yeah, it wasn't 5G. It wasn't.
Depends how it's running because
I didn't think it was that forceful, to be honest.
No, Pete showed me one in a mall somewhere that it has to have all three cars are the front car. So the back car is facing backwards. You've got one in the middle, which is facing forwards, but it's got a front cone on it. Then you've got the one at the front, which is at the front. And it pulls like 6Gs around the loops. It's ridiculous. I can't remember what it was called now. Wish I could remember what it was called.
Have you been on Olympia looping?
No, I haven't.
No, that is intense.
I've heard.
That is savage on the back row. It's actually uncomfortable, to be honest. It's nuts. I don't like the restraints on that ride. They really force that. The G-force really locks them down on your shoulders and you can't move.
It's half and half, isn't it?
It's very intense. It's a great ride for a travel coaster, and it's smooth as silk as well.
Yeah.
Really do you ever put restrictions in when you build stuff? Do you ever have a go and go, I've got to do this, or I'm not doing this, and kind of challenge yourself?
I like to make them as realistic as possible. I don't know about you, Luke. I don't like, you don't want your G-forces going like into the red. And your lateral G-forces going into the red because you're gonna have no thighs left.
Yeah, exactly.
I like to try and keep them realistic.
I've actually been enjoying building family coaster layouts. One of the hardest, believe it or not, one of the hardest coasters to make that I've done was Octonauts, just to get it back to the station. It was so difficult because there's no speed, there's no height. It's a heavy ass train and it doesn't move. It was just so difficult.
In that Octonauts one, to be honest, it looked legit, like real.
It was really difficult. It was one of the hardest things.
How much research do you have to do on that? Because you probably have to see it from every angle to see how it's getting.
Yeah, PLVs, pictures, pictures, off-ride videos, just watching endless hours of different videos and stuff. Like for we're looking at, because we're bringing air back to virtual towers. We're not doing like we're doing air.
Yeah.
Don't know if you've seen the a couple of images we put up, but we're going to be putting some more up at some point. But we've been looking at that off-ride from opening as much as we can, but there's hardly anything. So if this is a plea to anyone who's got any open day footage of air, please send it to us. We need it. But we've got the rides in, the supports are in nearly. The station's been done again because we put Roller Coaster Restaurant in. So Pete, bless him's having to rip it all out and build the station that was already there again. But few lines in.
Rid of? Does he save that for another time, or is he just totally getting rid of it? The Roller Coaster Restaurant.
It's just ripping out the interior because obviously Roller Coaster Restaurant filled in a lot of what Air Shop was on the other side. So it's very difficult to explain without showing you pictures. But basically, it took the whole right-hand side of the shop all the way down. So it took a lot of area out. We're having to rebuild the shop, the exit, the balcony as well. The balcony is back. We've got the balcony back. So
the veranda, the terrace.
And well, I'll give you this exclusive. We've done it how John Wardley wanted it.
Have you seen the tunnel?
We've done it how John Wardley wanted it to be done.
So
remember when you go through, it's just a concrete indoor now. Well, John Wardley wanted it with all lights and.
There's another important part of that, Dan, of the old concept that everyone's overlooked, but we've done it. So try and think about it, what it could be. But it's
the dolls. Was there meant to? Oh, am I thinking of Galactica there?
You've also got Dan Firewolf thought also saying Ripsaw was a triumph on virtual towers as well.
Nice. That's still being it's not finished. Like we launched a Patreon because we want to give people exclusive and we want people to test new things that we put in all the time. And the more data we get from real machines, people trying them, and from how their performance is on their computers and stuff. We were talking about gaming computers before. Gaming computers have changed since the first version of Virtual Towers came out. They've changed so much and they're a lot more accessible now than what they were. But the specs that people buy determines how we put stuff out and how we optimize. And do we optimize for a low end, which is what we are doing at the moment. And we've got people on the team that have low end laptops, and I've got my own as well. And we throw it on every so often, see how it's performing, see what it's going to be like. That's why we launched Patreon.
How's it running on low end? Because I don't know where we're at with this. Obviously, 3 years old, but I didn't download the new Virtual Towers. We tried it not long after we got the laptop when a demo became available.
Have you not tried the Nemesis demo yet?
Not yet. I'm going to download it soon as we're done with this. And I was worried about how it would run because we tried.
Make sure you I will say one thing: if anyone's downloading Virtual Towers, download it through the itch.io app. Download the itch.io app first. Install it. It's like a version of Steam, basically. Search for Virtual Towers Nemesis Showcase, and it's there. Press download, and it will download into your library. There is an option to download a zip file, but you won't get updates from that. You'll just have that zip file, and that's it. So make sure you download it and put it in your library on the itch.io.
Send me the link, Luke, to that.
Yeah, we'll do.
That page that you've just done, please, and I'll do it as soon as I've done with this.
It struggled though when we first.
Yeah, but I think we had it on quite high. I think we tried it on high because I was like, "Oh, we just got to leave it on the laptop and it'll be all right." It was like, but that was the whole towers. This is just the.
No, it's so much better now, mate. So much better.
With the Ripsaw, different cycles.
So. It's all manual at the moment, Ripsaw, but we are working in the background on putting automatic cycles in. Yeah, something we're looking at like heavily. I believe James is almost at a breakthrough with it now, so that we might be able to implement at some point soon. But yeah, we just need as many people to test it as possible. So if you don't mind supporting us, jump on at Patreon. You'll get exclusive. You can ride Wickerman as well now with the new engine on the Patreon version. So yeah, just quick plug.
So we did at the start of the show. If anyone in the comments wants to say anything about the curse, and specifically if they think it's going to actually open on opening weekend, I have got one more POV from Dan. I think this is No Limits again. It's Triton, isn't it?
Yeah, this was on my other YouTube channel that I dedicated just to No Limits coasters, and I think this was one of the last ones I made before I stopped uploading. But I was really proud of this layout and the pacing as well. It's a Vekoma next gen.
Oh, that's
nice.
So cool.
It's a big layout, and it gets crazy towards the end. It's so fast, but like
not too fast.
Just time and everything. Yeah.
Oh, I like the shaping of that. That was nice.
Watch how fast it gets towards the end. From start to finish. I really like this. I sent it to Mike. I said, this is probably the best thing I've made on No Limits.
It's butter smooth, mate.
I like how low it stays for most of the
ride. Yeah. I dig that. I really like low to the ground coasters. Like, I think that's why I like Taron so much.
Have you seen the images? Is it Legoland Germany getting the wing rider? That's quite low.
the baby wing.
Yeah.
So strange.
Looks quite cute, but I imagine that's going to be like be good for families, I suppose. But
you looking forward to Jumanji? with their Wing Rider?
I'm confused with Jumanji, man.
I'm not hyped for that at all, but maybe I'm just in the minority.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
I'm intrigued more than I am hyped. Yeah. I want to know what that spike's going to feel like on a B&M.
I can't imagine sitting in a Wing Rider seat, going up that spike sideways. Yeah. I just don't know if that's going to be comfortable, but I don't know.
No.
Well, I don't think you'll be there long, will you?
I mean, it's like that. No, but you're going to, at some point, slow down enough. The laterals are going to be like... But, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just speculating. Fantastic. Could be the best ride in the country.
I doubt that, but it certainly looks fun. But when I did my little recreation of when they released the plans, I held it there, but I put it in a tunnel, so it felt like you were flipped the right way around, because the tunnel was the right way around, but the coaster track was angled, so it felt kind of disorientated, not painful, I'd imagine. And then it released you backwards, but I don't think they're going to hold you there on this one. I think it's literally going to go up and come back down, because all they've done is bent the track. They just bent the track pieces.
Realistic spiders. I think Dan would cry if there was realistic spiders.
What in the curse? The best not be spiders in there. The one that was in Shield.
It just says I'm hoping for realistic spiders, seeming they feature.
I think that's what everyone's going to refer to it as now, the curse.
I will.
Should have been called.
We all call Nemesis Nemi, and
yeah,
you know what I mean. We all come up with like short ways of getting rides. So I'll be saying the curse probably, or we might just say Jewel.
Yeah.
Haunted house.
They'll definitely keep the spider room from Jewel.
Oh, hopefully they'll take out that big novelty
that giant one, don't they? Yeah.
Hopefully there's no UV paint.
Green, yeah. Stop. Why is it green?
UV paint in it. Well, I don't think it was, but
everything got splattered with like green paint, and you're like, well, let's go.
Probably the thing back then, wasn't it?
I think that came out when Freak Show scare thing.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah,
they had a lot of UV paint, and they so happened to use it in the Duel at the same time that came out.
I think
I don't know if they were using up the paint.
I think they were storing it in
just
the
mere
show
observation. But...
They were storing it in the Duel show building, and someone fell over when they were taking it over.
Oh, it glows in the dark. Let's use that.
Them barrels.
It glows in the dark. Let's use that.
So is it going to? Do you think it's going to Dan and Paris first? Do you think the curse up Alton Manor is going to open on time?
Yeah.
Well, I say on time. I haven't said.
I think it will. I think they can't afford for it not to, given, like I said before, Nemesis isn't open. You know, and I don't know what the situation is with the retro squad.
I don't know.
Reliability of them last year was garbage.
I feel like from a business perspective, they can afford to, because they've sold apparently. Well, you've said that they put more tickets on now for pass holders, because they did actually sell out.
Wow.
Where are your guests going that aren't going to Nemesis? So that's
what I mean is they've already got the money coming in because they know that people are coming. So if they don't open it, then they've got another time they can also say, "Oh, it's opening now," and then they've got 2 days where people aren't going to be happy, but they're going to get their money twice now.
Yeah, I understand, but I just think they can't afford. So when I say they can't afford to, I don't mean it from a money perspective.
Rides in a way down.
I mean they can't afford to have the disappointment of guests with limited rides available. You've got Nemesis.
They had to get Retro Squad into open with capacity during COVID, so it's like that capacity now. Nemesis took a lot of people, like a lot of people. Galactica can't hold as many people who will be riding Nemesis at the same time as queuing for Galactica. Not a chance. Not without the extended queue line.
Sometimes doesn't look like it's got much of a queue, but Nemesis eats through its queue. We joined it up in the extended.
Galactica doesn't. Galactica just doesn't.
It said it was like however long, 50 minutes. I think we waited about 20. Nemesis throughput was ridiculous.
Yeah. Was mental.
I think it was
Galactica's throughput. It isn't.
Oh, Galactica's is shocking. We walk into it. It says, "Oh, it's 15 minutes." We walk in and we see, and we go, "Yeah, no, turn around."
You end up standing in that tunnel, that weird boarding tunnel thing where they could have put windows.
Oh, where they all did the photos before.
Yeah, no, but then you go up the steps and you just go into a tunnel with RGB for more bargains in it. I don't get what that is. It's not very good, is it? Just put windows back in it. And it's boiling. Like, geez. It's so hot in that little tunnel
thing.
It's
full of breath because everyone's just, it's just like, no.
Full of breath.
There's no air. horrible.
It is. It's stuffy. It's horrible.
Box in there in summer.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah, and there's no reason for it now. Like, just put windows back in so we can have a look outside and see what it's like. It's not
See
nice.
what it's
I don't
like.
like it. Yeah, is it still raining? Am I going to get wet on this one? I don't know. But I don't think Galactica can put up with that unless it's running on 2 stations all the time. It ain't going to do it.
Reliable enough to do that? Probably not.
Not now. No, not looked after it enough. They haven't. I mean, if you go in the station and look up at the cobwebs that are on the track and everything. Hey, Joe.
Do you think the Curse will be open on time, Luke?
I think Drayton Manor will open on time. Yeah. Oh, wait. Alton Manor. Yes, I think it will. I think it'll open.
I'll tell you one thing.
Anyone
We won't be able to.
I'll let you put in the comments.
Yeah.
Do you want to plug anything while we wind down, Luke? Any of your stuff? I'll put your YouTube in the description, but do you want to plug anything else?
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, please, and give us a follow on Instagram.
That way, Coastergen and Mike and Stacey at LoveTwoExplore.
Yeah, there you go. That'll do.
Luke, do
Give
you want
us
to plug?
a like, you know you want to.
Plug stuff, Luke.
if you like collecting things and going to Forbidden Planet and stuff like that, check out our second YouTube channel, Adventure Collect. That'll do.
And have we got a live tomorrow from Dan in Paris? Because I advertised one last week.
Tomorrow, no, sorry, not tomorrow. I'm out. You messaged me last week. Mike messaged me last week and he said, "I've just plugged your live for tomorrow and you're not even on." Like, sorry.
No, Dan's out, so I've
literally got a beer ready and he was sat there and he's like, "They're not on."
We will get back into a routine soon, I promise.
Bless his little heart. Subscribe to everyone. Yes, Theme Park Insanity official. Yes,
next week we've got Trek and Taylors. I think we've only got Ben because Holly's not available, but we've also got Joe from Theme Park Insanity because we're all going to Yorkshire Wildlife Park this weekend. So we just want to talk about it.
They're going to recap it. Nice.
Looking
I like
forward
it.
to it.
Forward to
I
it.
have something I do need to mention though.
Oh
yes, mention away.
Mention away.
Whatever
I
you
have
want.
something I need to mention because I've been making something over the weekend and I've noticed a lot of people just talking about like mental health and stuff over certain channels as well, saying go out and get help and stuff. I then reflected on the past year on my mental health and how far I've come. So I've actually come out for our channel a little
photo challenge.
So I've got it put together because I feel like if you take photos, it's to do with mindfulness and you're just observing the world around you. And not only that, you get awesome photos. But we're going to post it on, obviously, LoveTwoExplore on our Instagram.
Or to spell out the number.
And then, number
Whoa.
2, sorry. Yeah, no, 2, whoa. But yeah, we're going to post it on our channel. And basically, it's just a little bit of mindfulness photography, really. But it can be theme park based. It can be nature photography. It can be anything. Literally, I've just put a word at the side and you put your own interpretation of what you think the photo would be.
Nice.
It's basically just one photo a month. And you just complete the whole thing. And just make sure you tag us in it. Because you might never know. We might use the photos on the channel.
And also, we've got an exclusive.
It's just wonderful to see what you explore.
I've got an exclusive. It was a maybe. Ryan from iCoast is coming to Yorkshire Wildlife Park.
It was a maybe.
He'll probably be on the show next week.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh,
Nice.
the overlay I've got to make for that. Jesus.
You've got to do it.
Don't do it anymore. I gave up on that after week 4. It's like, not doing this. You can just have names. That's fine.
That's why we keep the same one every week.
Yeah.
That's just too much effort. Fair play, Mike, because you do a good job.
You
But
Yeah, you do. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I just
minus
found-
it's very full. Minus the tree. Minus the forest place down here.
Foliage.
Do you remember that week where I think it was one of the roller coaster rivals you came on, and the blood was on your screen? And it actually looked like...
on my face. Yeah, I remember.
Anyone just tuning in looked like it'd been a massacre.
I
In
think
here.
I'm blind.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. I'll put your YouTube's in the description, and I put
Cheers, Mike.
Dan's
Thank
link
Thank you for having
for
us again. Yeah.
his Drayton Manor concept. So if you only just joined, Dan's done a POV today of his No Limits concept for Drayton Manor's new coaster. It's not the official new coaster, but it
No.
probably will be something
It might
close.
be.
But if the Drayton Manor see it, you never know. I don't know where they're going to put it, but might put it in the lake.
That'd be good.
Do you remember, Dan, before we go, do you remember that time? I've got the video on an old channel. But
I'll
okay.
show it in a minute. You carry on. You got a video on another channel.
Yeah, when we got the you got us the behind the scenes at Drayton Manor tour out of nowhere, and the guy who was building it said about the Scale Electrics roller coaster I meant to get over the lake.
Oh, I don't remember.
Do you know they were meant to have like a accelerating scale-electric, because he just kind of said it like, "Oh yeah, the scale-electric coaster we're building," and you were just like, "What?"
Oh,
What?
The day we almost died because you had to climb across.
Turned out to be 4, did it? That turned out to be 4. I slept near.
The highlight of that day was I got to dispatch Shockwave, Mike, and you got me on video.
I
I said,
I thought the highlight was climbing across G-Force's track where we could have fallen to our death.
Oh, we literally could have died, Mike.
I can't believe that.
Different time, different park ownership. It was one of them.
Do you want to mention that and then we'll go?
I'll quickly show it briefly, but it should look like that on our little page. Ooh, if you can see it,
No, you can't.
Probably not.
It's bad times for everyone involved.
I know. I didn't really plan this through, guys, but if it works,
She'll share it.
There we go. Oh,
it's
yeah.
very similar to that, and everything's just there for you to start and do it. Okay, guys.
Okay.
So I'm going to be putting it on there. Guys and girlies.
Can I just say one more thing before we go? Can everyone please go and share our latest video? Just share it on your Facebook. I just want to get everyone's attention on it. It's a bit of fun.
And also share anything about
your Facebook and everywhere and tag us. Yeah.
I will try my best to share, like I always do.
Do you want to, Luke? Do you want to say the catchphrase before we go?
No.
There's another catchphrase.
I don't know the catchphrase, bro. I'll be honest.
It's Dan, though.
I don't remember it.
We'll leave it to you guys. I did it last time.
Do you want to say it?
So we'll see you
in the review.
Because for now,
we go.
bye.